Hello, this is Mike at Gamefromscratch, and welcome back to our ongoing Paradox Game Engine tutorial series. Today we're going to be looking at two very separate but somewhat related topics. Very quick tutorial today. First off, we're going to be covering setting the resolution of your application. It's a very simple thing to do. It's just not very obvious how to do it. Then we're going to spin off and look at how to do that programmatically. Mostly the reason behind this is I'm going to show you how to derive your own game. And so if you want to do your own configuration on startup, such as, for example, programmatically setting the resolution, you would want to inherit your own game class. I touched on this briefly in the scripting tutorial, the last section. So I'm just going to show you a very quick example of how to create your own game class. Both these topics, as I said, are quite easy for the most part, so this should be a short, quick tutorial. So let's jump on right in. I'm going to go ahead and create a new game. We'll call this one, let's say, full screen. Already got that covered, so YouTube. And next. Key thing is I'm going to create this one for Windows only. Full screening in iOS or Android is pretty much meaningless. It's stubbed out. It does nothing. You can't set full screen on those. You'll see later on. It's called the recommended, or sorry, the preferred back buffer. There's a reason for that. It's because it's an indication or a hint to Paradox what resolution you want to set. Because only on desktop environments can you actually set the window size. So it's something to be aware of. But so I'm going to create a Windows only project here. Go ahead and create that. Make sure that I am set to not battery mode. All right, we're good to go. All right, so we're in our startup project. First thing I'm going to show you is how to set the resolution as a setting. You would actually probably think that it would be over here in properties in the camera settings. No, you'd be wrong. You think maybe it'd be here in these settings? No, you'd also be wrong. It's actually in your Solution Explorer under your project. You go in here, you click your project, and you select package properties. Like I said, it's easy, but it's certainly not intuitive. So you bring up package properties, and then you will see over here, you set your starting scene, but the key thing is your resolution here. So if we wish to be, for some reason, 640 by 480, you set it there, and done. Now we'll go ahead and save and run, and you shall see that our resolution changes accordingly as soon as it is done doing its thing. Any minute now. Any minute now. First compile is always a little slower. And go. And alright. I got nothing to say right now, so I'm just going to kill this awkward dead space with my finger drum solo in the background there. Alright, why the hell are you taking so long this time? Alright, future reference. Next time I'm going to pause the video so you don't have to listen to this awkward dead silence while it compiles. Go. Alright, it's done compiling. There we go. Sorry, I think that's got to be my computer, because that was slower than normal. So is this. Alright, seriously, what is wrong? You might be the issue. Okay, so sorry, I've got some performance issues going on. I got to do a reboot or something after this, but sorry about the wait there. That was freakishly long. It normally doesn't take anywhere near that long. So here you are, running a 640 by 480 resolution instead. Very easy. So once again, setting the resolution, quite simple. Just come on in here to your project within the solution, select the package properties, and set the resolution accordingly. And that's it. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to set this to 1600 by 900. That way you can see that this next setting is actually working. I'll give that a quick run while I go ahead with the next step. So I'm going to click here now and open this up in Visual Studio. Now we're going to do the same thing. We're going to extend the game class and do this programmatically. And what the hell is wrong with my computer? All right, here we go. All right, so there you see, it's running 1600 by 900. I'm on a 1080 display, by the way. So that is the result. So this will show that our programmatic is actually overriding the default settings. So head back in here, and once again, you've got a solution for your game. This is where you put your game-specific stuff. Then you've got a solution for each platform. Since I only created Windows, we only have the one. That's going to be important in a minute. I'll explain why. But first thing first is we're going to have to go ahead and create our game class. Just come in here to your game class here, and go add class. And call it my game. So now we're not going to be doing a lot of coding here. This is very, very simple. So don't need any of this. Maybe some stuff. All right, where's my cursor? There you go. Delete that. Zoom this in a bit so you can see it. So obviously we're going to be using the engine. Silicon Studio, Paradox, engine, so. And my game is going to derive from the game class from Paradox. And I'm going to show you a couple of the overrides, but first we're going to be doing a protected override. And you're going to see there's a few of them available here. This is the various life cycle points of your game. So you've got content loading, initialization. This is before the window is created. Very important to our current use. It's actually what we're going to go ahead and use. But let me bring that back up. You've got before your draw loop, before your run loop, after your draw, after your run. When it is activated, this is Windows up and displayed. The window's being created, rename, which is a little strange to do, unload, and update frame. So you got all the various points in your game's game loop that you can go ahead here and update how they perform. So what we are going to use is initialize. Like I said, this is before the window is created and shown, and that's important because we're going to set the resolution here. So graphics device dot preferred. Wait. Oh, wrong thing. Device manager dot preferred back buffer width. Like I said, preferred. Key thing there is because of the fact that on a lot of devices you've actually got no control over this actual process. And we'll make it 720. And then graphics, I can't type today. Preferred height equals 480. Like so. And that's it. That's all we're going to do. We're just so basically we've inherited our own game class that comes from game, and we've overrode the initialize method. There, like you saw earlier, there are dozens in. Well, there's not dozens. There's about a dozen in there. Different points in the game lifecycle that you can override and change the behavior. Don't forget to call back to the base though, so that all the inherited behavior still happens. Unless, of course, you're trying to override base behavior, then don't do this. But most of the time, you're going to want to still call back to the base class. And that's it. We have now created our own game class. Now, one very important thing, and something I forget to do just about every bloody time, make it public. You've got to make it public. The override classes don't, obviously, because it's going to be expecting a game class, and it's going to call them accordingly. But you do need to make this class public, so it's available in external libraries, which we're about to see. So we just created our game, like so. Now we head on over to our main, like here, and you'll see all we're doing in main is we create an instance of game and then call run. And all we want to do is change this to, what is mine? I think it's full screen.youtube.mygame. Like so. So instead of creating a game, you just create your game. And that's it. You have now created your own instance of your own game. The key thing here is going to be you're going to have to make this change in every single platform. So if you have an iOS, an Android, eventually a Linux or a Mac, you're going to have to change which instance of game is being created in this this main, but that's it. And then you're done. So let's go ahead and run this, and you should see, if I didn't screw anything up, a 720 by 480 window, even though we set the properties to make it 1600 by 900. And so computer is slow. Here we go. Am I right or am I wrong? I am right. So you see, we are not getting a 1600 by 900 screen. We are getting a much smaller window, and done. Again, I don't know what my computer is up to, but that was it. So there is what we are covering today. Like I said, nice and quick, about 10 minutes. So the two things we covered here today are setting the resolution of your application. It can easily be done within Paradox Studio by right-clicking your project, picking package properties, and setting it over here in the property grid, the resolution you want it to be. Or you can inherit your own game class. You don't just have to do this for setting the resolution. Obviously, you don't even need to do this to set the resolution. There's a much easier way to do it. But for doing startup or more intensive control of your game lifecycle, you'll probably want to create your own game class. And as I said, all you do is inherit from game, and then override the methods that you wish to override. And then finally, in each of the bootstraps for the various platforms, just switch it from making an instance of game to your game class instead, and you're done. So that's it. That is setting the resolution and creating and inheriting a game-based class. Hope you enjoyed that. Thank you very much. Bye.